Imagine the scene, a vast and sparkling lake. The calm waters reflect the blue sky, creating a peaceful and serene landscape. A crowd has gathered by the water. Men, women and children, all filled with anticipation. They are hungry, tired, yet hopeful. They have come to see Jesus, the great teacher and healer. He is a beacon of hope, a source of comfort. His words bring peace and inspiration. And on this day he will perform a miracle that will be remembered for generations. A miracle that teaches us about faith, generosity, and the power of sharing. He multiplies the little that we have. This is the story of how Jesus fed 5,000 people with just 5 loaves of bread and 2 small fish, an act of love and compassion. It's a story that has echoed through the ages, inspiring millions, a timeless lesson of hope. What can we learn from this amazing event? How can we apply this lesson in our own lives? How can this guide our lives today? The story invites us to reflect on our own faith and generosity. Jesus and his disciples had been traveling for days. They were on a mission, spreading the word of God and healing the sick. They traveled from village to village, sharing messages of love and hope. People would gather to hear Jesus speak. They were drawn to his kindness, his wisdom, and his compassion. The disciples marveled at the crowds that followed Jesus. They saw how he touched the lives of so many. He healed the sick, comforted the afflicted, and offered hope to the lost. But they also knew that their work was far from over. On this particular day, the crowd seemed larger than ever. It was as if every person from the surrounding region had come. Thousands of people were gathered by the shores of the Sea of Galilee, forming a sea of eager faces. They had come from far and wide, eager to hear Jesus speak, bringing with them their hopes and worries. As the sun began to set, the disciples grew concerned, realizing the enormity of the task before them. They knew they were far from any town and had very little food, just a few loaves of bread and some fish. The disciples approached Jesus, their faces etched with worry and uncertainty. "Lord," they said, "this is a deserted place and it is getting late. We have no way to feed all these people. Send the crowd away so they can go to the villages and buy themselves some food," the disciples suggested. The disciples saw the problem, but Jesus saw an opportunity, a chance to show something extraordinary. Jesus turned to his disciples and said, "They do not need to go away. You give them something to eat." The disciples were astonished. How could they possibly feed this enormous crowd? They only had 5 loaves of bread and 2 small fish. It seemed like an impossible task, but Jesus was unfazed. He asked the disciples to have the crowd sit down on the grass. Then he took the loaves and fish in his hands. He looked up to heaven, gave thanks, and blessed the food. What happened next was nothing short of a miracle. In the hands of Jesus, the 5 loaves and 2 fish multiplied before their very eyes. More and more food appeared, enough to feed everyone in the crowd. The disciples, their eyes wide with wonder, began to distribute the food to the astonished crowd. Everyone ate until they were full. And when they were finished, the disciples collected 12 baskets full of leftover food. The miracle of the loaves and fishes was a testament to the power of faith and the boundless generosity of God. The miracle of the loaves and fishes teaches us a powerful lesson about sharing. Even when we think we have very little, our generosity can be multiplied beyond measure. When we share what we have with others, even small acts of kindness can have a ripple effect, creating a wave of generosity and compassion. Just like the boy who willingly offered his lunch, we too can make a difference. We may think our contributions are insignificant, but in the hands of God, even the smallest offerings can be transformed into something extraordinary. We can all find ways to share our blessings with others, whether through simple gestures or more significant actions. It doesn't have to be a grand gesture to have a big impact. It can be as simple as sharing a meal with a neighbor or dividing something we have in abundance. Donating to a local food bank is another powerful way to make a difference. or volunteering our time to a cause we believe in, helping to build a stronger community. Every act of generosity, no matter how small, makes a difference and touches lives. When we act with generosity and compassion, we create a cycle of kindness. Not only do we help those in need, but we also enrich our own lives. We open our own hearts to the abundance of blessings that surround us, feeling a deep connection to others. We begin to see the world through a lens of gratitude and hope, noticing the beauty in small moments. Recognizing the interconnectedness of all things, we understand that every act of kindness reverberates throughout the world around us. The miracle of the loaves and fishes is a timeless story that continues to inspire us to this day. It reminds us that with faith, even the smallest act of generosity can have a profound impact on the world around us. Let us strive to live lives filled with compassion, sharing our blessings with open hearts and open hands. Let us be inspired by the miracle by the lake, and let us create a world where generosity and love know no bounds. For it is in giving that we truly receive.